Hi, we're Issa and Yella from Slow Crush.
Hi.
And we're gonna give you a run through of the gear that we use.
Yeah, it's gonna be a really long, boring talk if you're not
Sorry.
interested in gear. Unfortunately, a band
got
has
a
to
lot
deal
of
with this stuff. And some of you are interested, we hope. Anyway, this is all set in our, in the living room where we recorded the East record, and where we are now getting ready to record our next album. Corona proof, there's some space over here, so we brought all our gear in this living room and are just getting ready, in a safe way.
Committing everything to muscle memory, and just perfecting the little, well, not perfecting all of the imperfections out, but just learning the parts so that we're ready for the studio.
Learning and good enough. Okay, enjoy.
So right now I'm playing on a Fano. I think it's a JM4. Yep, it's a JM4. This is a guitar that I picked up on our last US tour earlier this year. Seems like a lifetime ago. And yeah, I was actually looking for a short scale bass because I was worried about being able to bring it back home. But I'd been sort of following the Fano brand for a while, and the first or the second guitar shop that we went into in the States, in New York, this year, this was just hanging there on the wall, and it was pretty much collecting dust, so I just had to take it. It was, it was a steal for, I suppose, for being sort of a kind of custom or boutique brand. The only thing that I've changed on this is the fretboard, the
Pickguard.
Pickguard. I can't think of the word in English anymore. So the pickguard, yeah, I changed that out to this beautiful golden number. It's a string through body.
Yeah, string through.
The material that the bass is made from just gives it that sort of resonance. So yeah, that's my Fano bass. My other favorite bass, which I use mostly for recordings, which I recorded Aurora on, is this custom-made number by our good pal Ian Romolo. Another bass with amazing sustain. It's got an oiled finish, which I think really kind of adds to that sound. So that just adds to the resonance. Another string through body number, and again it's got the smooth.
You lost something of your pin on your bass.
My pins. Yeah, it's got that smooth sort of neck, which I really, really love. So I'm not a fan of lacquered necks, just because it's just easier to play with. And yeah, this is my favorite beauty.
What about your amps? What do you play on?
Live, I've been playing on this Bassman 500. So this is an amazing amp, which is very, very light. Very, very thankful, and so is my back.
Super light, and it's transistors, super cheap, super light.
Yeah, and then in combination with the Mesa Boogie speakers, it's just unbeatable. Until we brought this orange AD200 into the mix. So this one we're trying out right now.
But this is going to be mainly something in the studio.
Yeah, so we're just trying this out for sounds for record number 2. Another thing that we've been playing around with is this dark glass. So yeah, this is like really kind of this dark glass microtubes has everything sort of built into one little element, like right here. Also mega light, really tiny, so just an amazing touring beast. But
I think we've recorded Aurora mostly through that amp
pedal,
or pedals, which is like the same as the amp, I guess.
Yeah. This Ampeg, the SVT, this one is just unbreakable, but it will also break your back, which is the only downside to it. It's a really solid amp. Something that I've been playing with for years and years. It's just there. The power's there, but we just like to play around with a lot of stuff and just grow our sound. So for me, I think like my main sort of go-tos are definitely the Sans amp pedal. So yeah, this pedal, it just has like a great equalizer built into it and a DI so that you can go to the PA if there are any issues amp wise or venue wise. And then in combination with this Le Bass pedal from Two Notes, this guy has a cab simulator in it, and then also the preamps. So that combination, that combo is definitely something that is unmissable. And then just in general, I really am lost without my microphones, and I can't remember the name of the mics.
Audix, I think Audix.
Yeah, I've got
5.
I think it's an Audix 5,
and 6, I think.
7, I think. Got the Audix. I'll look that up. So the Aurora album is recorded in D standard, but live we play in D sharp standard, just because that feels more natural for my singing voice, especially in a live setting with all the noise that goes with it. So yeah, that's the standard tuning that we usually play in. The new album has some other tunings mixed in, but it's mainly sort of D standard, D sharp standard.
I'm first gonna talk about my guitars. These are my favorite guitars at the moment. This is my Fender Jazzmaster vintage reissue 65. I recorded most of Ease and Aurora on this one, actually everything of Aurora. I switched out the bridge pickup, which I only use for the heavier parts, with a Novak wide range humbucker, but still the bridge pickup is my favorite pickup. There's nothing that can beat it. I tried so many different Jazzmaster pickups, but this one it's a Fender 65 pickup, really cheap actually, but sounds amazingly deep and still defined. It's in all of my favorite guitars. So so this is another one I got recently. Well, it sounds weird if I say another one, but so this is like Parallel Universe. It's like a brand new guitar. It's like a mixture of a Stratocaster and a Jazzmaster. This sounds amazingly good, and I think I'm gonna start using it live if we can play again together with my custom Eleanor guitar that a good buddy of mine made for me to my specs, with mastery, tremolo and bridge. Again, the 65 pickups. This guitar sounds amazing and full acoustically even. It took a while to fine-tune it exactly to how I wanted it, like about a year, and now it's perfect. So that brings me to my pedal board, I guess. You asked me to do a run-through of my pedal board. So Right now it's like massive. This is my pedal board. I tour with a way smaller pedal board, especially if you go to the US. But the way it's set up now is like basically all of the stuff I use to record with, minus some spares that are stored somewhere else. But this is the main stuff I record with, but I don't use all of this live. So the wiring of my pedal board is like, first I go from a Jazzmaster to the small sound, big sound, the fuck overdrive. It's got this kind of sputtery sound. So even right before my tuner, I like start with a slight boost. I use it as a boost in the highs and like as a extra sputter or grit in the low end. I use it more as a boost. Then I go like straight into the tuner, which is obvious, and then into the shaker to add like a extra 3D, which is like a vibrato effect. It makes everything sound a bit wider in mono even. Then I go straight into the harmonizer from Boss, and then I go into the loop station with a little bit of like weirdness going on. If I combine other pedals towards the end of our set, I kind of mix it up with the dark world sometimes, have some loops going on during and at the end of our set. Sounds cool. So yeah, so actually I go from the loop station into my overdrives. This is like Earthquaker devices based on like a Tube Screamer, but it's so much more diverse. You can like change the voicing a bit more than with a normal Tube Screamer. Then into
What's this guy?
Yeah, then we go into the Glow Fuzz, which basically I record all our fuzz sounds with. It's the best fuzz. It's like, well, for me anyway. It's based on a Screddy Mayo. It sounds so muddy, but in a good way. The low end is there. The definition is still there. It's so good.
And it's got a really cool purple glow.
Yeah. If I turn it on, see.
Oh yeah.
Of course, there's the hum, which is unavoidable with a good fuzz. Then I have like a Reds a clone. Well, more than a clone. This is like the Sun pedal. It's really cool. I think on our new record it's gonna be a combination of the Glow Fuzz and the Sun pedal for the dirty sounds. And then we have the Assmaster. I only use it when I really have to go over the top with crazy over the top solos and stuff, because it is like too much sometimes. We go straight into the modulation stuff. Chorus, this can do some really weird stuff, the C Machine, Earthquaker devices. Then my always on pedal, Dispatch Master. It wasn't on right now because of the bright lights, but this is amazingly good. 3D, makes your mono sounds sound massive. Then into the dark world that you heard for all the crazy weird warbly bits. I don't use it very often. Then into more modulation, flanging and phasing. Into the Nightwire, like some kind of weird tremolo, pitchy stuff. And then I take my signal to the Deco, Strymon Deco, to make it stereo. This is the first time it becomes stereo. It's got a really nice saturation setting in case I need to have more heft, more heaviness in my sound, depending on the venue or on the type, on the part that I'm playing. And then the doubler, this is actually like a tape machine. You can delay with it slightly. You can add wobble. You can add flanging. All the kind of tape effects. This is really cool. It makes my sound even wider. And then I go into maybe my favorite pedal of them all. I go into the Hall of Fame. This one is like almost always on as well. It's like a modulation setting that I always play with. And depending on the song and on the parts, I either go full out with the decay and the effects level or like barely on. But most of the time, it is on.
Which version of the Hall of Fame?
This is the first version. I have like 4 of these. Well, actually, 2 of the first one, 1 of the second one, and then like the Trinity, I think it is called, which is based on this pedal. But this one is by far the best one ever on this setting. That's the only setting I use. Personally, I don't like the other settings, but it's an amazing pedal for the price anyway. Then I go into the Avalanche Run. I've only been using it recently because like it's the big brother of the Dispatch Master that's always on, and this one is becoming like a big contender on all of the new stuff on our upcoming records. That's a lot of reverb and delay already. Then I'm going into the Eventide Space. If you have the cash, this is the best one. I mean, this thing can do everything. Don't waste your money on anything else. If you only have a certain amount of money to splash on pedals, reverb pedals, only get this one. It's so diverse. And then I go into the Big Sky. I use it for some special effects. It's not on a lot of the time, but when special stuff is happening, I use it. And then last but not least, effects pedal. I go into the Timeline delay pedal. I don't use it a lot either. Only a few special delays at the end of my chain, like tremolo delays and stuff. And then actually, like, this is the last effect pedal, but then I go into a compressor over here in case I start blowing up amps again. And then like a volume pedal at the end, and another DI that goes straight into the PA. This is a lifesaver as well. So that's it for my pedals, I guess.
Does the cat hair add to it?
There's a lot of cat hair and dust over here. Anyway, let's maybe talk about amps. This is maybe the amp I've done most of the recordings with. Everything of Ease was done through this. It's a Fender Dual Showman from the 70s. It's actually a twin reverb, more or less, but in head form. And most of our recordings will be done through this. I like it so much. And also, recently I've been playing through these massive 2x15 cabinets because we want to play louder again. And the speakers in here, GBL speakers from the 70s still, I think. They are just amazing. I also play, I'm going to be playing a little bit through my pedalboards in a second. And that is hooked up to an Ampeg VT 410 that I bought while we were on tour in the US. We played on it in the US. It's an amazing amp with Alnico speakers, 4x10 speakers. I have like another Fender Blackface, Fender Twin Reverb Blackface, Deluxe Reverb, which I play a lot on live in smaller venues. It's such a small amp, one speaker, but it can go really loud. Only 22 watt, but it's really loud. I record some guitars sometimes through Marshall bass leads, I have another Fender from the 70s, a silver face Fender twin reverb with some super old Fender speakers. That sounds amazing. I think we've recorded part of the real single with it. And that's basically it, I think, for amps. I think that's the stuff I'm gonna use in the studio. Was there another question? Like, yeah, the difference in sound or
Yeah, the difference in sound between Ease and Aurora.
the difference in sound between Ease and Aurora. I think it's mainly like the studios we've worked with as well, and maybe more pedals were used on Aurora, different pedals. It's a heavier sound. The Ease record was recorded over here in this area, in this living room.
With different amps, right?
With different, well, no, with this amp, I just.
But the
told
different,
you.
yeah, but the different bass rig, a different bass rig.
Yeah, I think so. I can't really remember.
Yeah, we didn't have the Mesa Boogie rig yet. I think it was really the SVT and the an Ampeg,
yeah, we
right?
recorded on an Ampeg setup in East, and I think in the studio Aurora we recorded through an hoe noemt dat weer al?
The dark glass
The
vintage
dark
tubes.
glass. Yeah, we recorded through the dark glass. But yeah, so we recorded East over here. You can really hear it in the drums. The drums sound way roomier and less direct. I guess it's because of this place.
It's
there's lots of
a
woods.
lot of wood and a lot of space.
So we recorded Ease over here, and we're also now rehearsing over here because we can do it in a safe way, Corona-proof way. We can keep our distance, wear masks, and over here we can still rehearse. That's why we moved everything down here from our normal tiny rehearsal space. Anyway, I'll show you some of the sounds. Mainly like the Glowfuzz, but I'll first show you, like, at least if you're listening in stereo. I'm running a slight boost, like from the Fog Overdrive, like what I was talking about before. Then the Dispatch Master. Then it's running into the Strymon Deco, give it a wider stereo image. Into the TC Electronic Hall of Fame, and then into the Big Sky. That's basically my sound when it needs to go really expansive. So yeah. Dynamic with these as well, because all of these reverbs slightly boosts, and some boost a bit more than others, so it's like really touch sensitive, and I really like it. that's all the reverb stuff. Let's play some fuzz, some glow fuzz sounds. Really sputtery. There's so many different settings on here. I mean, so yeah, that's it.
Hope you learned something and didn't get too bored.
And hopefully it sounds okay, because like, yeah, this is only like a DIY thing. So
Thanks for sticking with
yeah,
us.
thank you, and see you next time. If you have like any questions, put them in the comments. Follow us like all the pros say. I mean, would be cool.
Send us a message if you have any questions.
Or if you want us to do a video about something else, I mean, just shoot. It's kind of cool to do these things, like...
and I hope we get better the next time.
Yeah, trying to improve, because our camera skills really suck. Anyway, see you next time.
Have a good weekend, everyone.